guys, welcome back to the Kit and Krysta podcast, episode 49.
Wow.
Getting close. Today we have a really fun and a little bit scary story time about the time that we accidentally almost leaked Smash Ultimate.
Well, it didn't happen.
I said
But
almost.
There was a lot of stress, a lot of fear.
I said accidentally almost.
A lot of frantic messages.
It was almost a really terrifying
Close
moment.
Call.
Close call, yes.
Episode 49 also could be known as the week before Sonic Week.
That's right.
Which I can't believe is going to be the 50th episode.
I was just going to say, how did the stars align?
We're either blessed or cursed, depending on how you look at it.
But yeah, it's very exciting that somehow 50,000 subscribers happened late last year. Sonic Week is happening next week at 50,000 episodes. I don't know, numerologists out there, tell us if we're blessed or cursed. But we're very excited about Sonic Week, though.
The Sonic Week schedule is set. Mm-hmm. We can just go through it right now. It's happening next week. Ooh. We have something happening every single day of the week, Monday through Friday. So let's just take a look. Monday.
It's gonna be fun.
We will be pushing up Super Kit and Krysta 64 by a day to get things started. You know, we're familiar with Sonic. We haven't played every single Sonic game. We are remedying that. We are doing quick plays of 8.
Sort of the essential 8. Essential.
I don't know how we decided on whether they're essential or not. There's some that are controversial that we've chosen.
Yeah, some that were like controversial when they came out. Some that are legit, you know, our wonderful community have legit told us these are good
We're playing
games,
the original 2D Genesis games.
Right,
of course, we have both of the Sonic Adventure games, which I'm actually extremely curious to play
curious
those.
About. We have Sonic Colors.
We have Sonic Colors.
Which is the one that everyone tells me that I would love.
The one that you might raise an eyebrow on. We got Sonic 06. I want to see Sonic kiss that lady, okay?
The real life lady?
I want to see that.
You've been talking about the real life lady and the kissing for like weeks now.
That's the reason this game exists.
I'm very confused.
I shared this list with our Sonic consultant, Katie of Sega of Sonic Twitter fame. She said, I don't know about that. But I told her, we got to be thorough, okay?
Yeah, you got to go.
That's what matters.
You got to cover the spectrum.
Right.
Speaking of Katie.
Yes.
Moving along your schedule.
Well, we have Wednesday. Don't forget Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. And Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
we really messed this up. I'm sorry.
We just jumped right to Thursday.
So Monday, we're playing all these Sonic games for the first time. We'll be having quick reactions.
Quick impressions, quick reactions.
Okay, Tuesday, though.
Tuesday, we are going back to the same list of games and judging the music, because the music is, I've heard,
iconic.
Such an iconic part of Sonic games.
And you have also admitted that the music in Sonic games you like.
Well, Green Hill Zone from the original is like, I respect that a lot. It's a very good song.
This will be good to listen to some of the other, iconic music tracks from these games that we've just played and given our impressions on, and see if that shifts your game rankings, because music is a big part of it.
I admit beyond that, or some of the music from the very, very early games, I'm not super familiar with it.
Blind spot.
So
we're going to learn. We're going to educate ourselves.
And we're going to listen, and we are going to rate it.
Yes.
Wednesday, we're going to be streaming Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And this game actually has gotten some good reviews and accolades.
People like
this game, and we're gonna start from the beginning or like close to the beginning.
Yeah.
And just stream for a bit and see how we do.
Yeah.
See how we get along.
Yeah. Thursday is the big podcast day. It's going to be a 90% all Sonic.
I think so.
I mean, we might have some new stuff to talk about.
Right.
But
maybe there's more Sonic news.
Right. Big segment with Katie of Sega, who we just mentioned before.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing sort of a point counterpoint, sharing our history with Sonic and how we got, again, to these two different places.
Yeah.
Want to hear about, what she's doing with Sega, all the exciting things that are happening with Sonic.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I know people are very excited to have her on.
She's so
very
nice.
graciously agreed. Yes.
Yeah, she'll guide us through all of our Sonic questions.
Right.
And she is also very, she's a very understanding person. So she has dealt with you and your negativity.
I'm a delight. How dare you? You should know this by now.
No, I know that you're
the gonna learn.
Oh no, feels
I'm a delight.
Help me.
As I pound the table.
I know, right? So aggressive.
Say I'm wonderful.
And then Friday.
Yes.
Having a fun little movie night on Friday.
We're doing a movie watch along. To the first Sonic movie, which You've seen the second, but not the first?
I've seen the first, but not the second. So I'll
Oh,
see the first one again with
You've
you.
already seen this.
Yeah, but I'll see it again with you. That's okay.
Well, you were really adamant
I really like this one.
that we do it with this one and not the second one.
Yeah, because the first one's in San Francisco.
The chronology,
no, because
the lore.
it's in San Francisco.
All right, fine.
And I want to see it with you.
It's all new to me. So yeah, we're gonna record a thing where you can watch along. You just hit play at the same time.
At the same time we hit play.
Sync it up.
We'll like put a little timer up.
Yeah.
And then you can watch along with us. We're just gonna be hanging out and like watching the movie and like enjoying our Friday night.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I'm really happy with how the week shaped up.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
we're starting to record some of this week to get ahead of it because there's so much.
There's so much.
It's a packed week.
It's gonna be busy.
I hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah, and of course, everything that we do on this channel, Sonic Week is made possible by our wonderful Patreon subscribers. They've been very helpful as well as we are coming up with ideas for Sonic Week. We have a really fun Sonic channel in our Discord right now that's popping off all the time with all of these great suggestions. Our superstars are helping us develop the schedule for the week. So thank you guys so much. You're the best. If you want to join our amazing community, we are at patreon.com/KitandKrysta. Join for as little as $2 a month. There's lots of other cool benefits as well.
And got a shout out, we also have a Patreon goal to get us back to Japan in the summertime.
Let's go.
It's going great.
Going great.
All of our Patreon subscribers immediately go right into that. So that's a way you can help us.
So they're already helping us, but if you have not joined us yet, please consider supporting us to help us get back to Japan so we can make all sorts of cool content.
That's right.
All right. There's Beyond Sonic Week. We did do something else with Mario, opposite of Sonic.
There were some suggestions of doing like compare and contrast Mario with Sonic. I can't put Mario into Sonic Week.
That's true. I think Sonic Week needs to be spotlighted, focused.
I feel like that would be
Sonic.
a cop-out for me to introduce Mario into Sonic Week.
Exactly.
And make it about Mario.
No, it won't be. It's not about Mario.
I mean, my life has been about Mario.
It's not about you. It's not about Mario.
I guess I can give Sonic a week.
It's about Sonic.
Yeah.
It's not about you.
Right.
It's about Sonic. Not Mario. Not you. Or Mario and you. It's about you and Sonic.
What about you?
I'm here too. But anyways, before we delve deep into the bowels of Sonic Week, we did have one last breath with Mario, and we did a fun Mario Multiverse Bingo Battle.
Right.
Which was really fun. Like, I definitely didn't think this was possible until we did this video, but it is. We had one bingo board, and we used the same board, both of us, across 2 different Mario games.
Yeah.
It's a big idea.
Some people did have some suggestions of you say you could do it with 2D Metroid games
Oh,
potentially.
Metroid is a great idea.
I think you could probably do that.
like that.
Some people suggested like Splatoon games single player. You might be able to do that.
Maybe, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe there's some other options of how to do this. This was of course the first challenge for us of 2023. I shan't spoil the result. You'll just have
watch
to
the video and find out who has taken the first challenge. We reset the challenge board.
One of us got off to a hot start for 2023.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, as they say.
What?
2023 just started.
Oh,
it's not over until it's over. Anyways,
I see.
That video is live now, so please check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It is very, very fun.
Yeah. We are recording this on a Monday, our usual recording day, which it's happened to be a holiday in the U.S., Martin Luther
Not for
King
us,
Day.
Though. We're still here working away, toiling away.
Well, maybe the reason we agreed to do that is because at Nintendo, this is just a fun little aside, until very late in our careers at Nintendo,
super late. Like,
we didn't get that day off.
It was like, I want to say like 4 years ago.
It was like 2018 or something.
Something like that. Yeah, like way later than you would think. And it was a little bit shameful that we would not get this day off.
I was like, I don't know any other company.
I know.
Where like, people who go into an office like are not getting Martin Luther King Day off. Yeah, and I think the way they did it was like they just moved like I think we had like 2 President's Days or something.
They moved one.
They're like,
we don't have any President's Day anymore.
We didn't get those at all.
Yeah, so they...
A little light on the holidays, jeez.
They were really light on our U.S. holidays, but they were like real heavy on the Japanese holidays.
The bank holidays in Europe too.
The bank holidays in Europe, it was like every day was a bank holiday.
Do not interrupt.
How many bank holidays do you have?
The bank holidays.
They're just napping at the bank.
What? Oh no.
Japan too was like Golden Week, Silver Week, Grandparents' Day, Girls' Day, Boys' Day.
Well,
all the days.
It always seemed like in Japan, like the subtext was people don't feel comfortable taking days off.
That's true.
So the government has to step in and make a million holidays.
Very sad.
Which is
it's a little
iffy and bizarre.
Sad. It's sad. Don't do that. Take your holidays. Take your vacation days, people.
Yeah. Take the days off.
The takeaway.
Exactly.
But anyways, we used to never get this day off, so now we're here once again. Working away.
Yes.
But it's okay because this is a fun job, so it doesn't matter.
We got a busy week. Some of you, speaking of holidays and vacations,
or you?
Not you. Some of our viewers / listeners might be taking a vacation day on Friday to play Fire Emblem Engage. Look at that segue. I just blew your mind with that segue.
Fire Emblem Engage Day.
For our Never a Minute segment, we are doing a pre-launch. We might need to do a post-launch one later.
Like to remedy the
when
list.
we fully get exposed, we are doing our husbando and waifu rankings.
That's right.
For the game.
Right. For the game.
Yes.
So we basically chose for each other 5 lovely characters for the other person to rank, and then we're gonna come up with a definitive. We're
gonna merge the lists.
That's right.
And have a top 10.
That's right.
Yes.
But I have 5 beautiful characters, and you have 5 beautiful characters for me to look at.
I absolutely do.
Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, should I get started first?
Yeah, why don't we just take turns until we get through the 10 here, just taking a look at what we got.
Okay, my first character is Chloe, who is a Lance Pegasus. New character in Engage. I'm showing you a photo of it.
I do have a thing for the Pegasus characters.
Your,
I don't know what
type.
I don't know why, but I do.
Typical type
but
is
I
a
do.
Pegasus rider.
But I do. Yeah.
She's a good-looking woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree. All right. For you.
For me.
And hopefully you have the opposite of this.
I don't have
Boy
this.
Alir, the main character.
I
you
don't have the main character.
Oh, well, this is going to be an awkward list then.
Because I already knew that you disliked it, like severely.
Well, you can still put it on the list.
Oh, I wanted to give you ones that you would definitely like. So
well, I haven't heard your feelings on
I don't like
Boy
it.
Alir. Well, maybe Boy Alir can be at the bottom.
Let me look at Boy Alir again.
Yeah.
Ugh, no thank you. The bi-colored hairstyle is not cute.
Right.
Boy Alir.
I don't like the mismatch either, but I feel like it's the like crisscross hair over the eyes.
It's like a little too like symmetrical.
Because the eyes are also, it's like too much, like my eyes are crossing looking at this.
Their eyes are 2 different colors too.
I realize that.
It's very strange.
I'm also not a fan of like the white leather tuxedo or whatever.
There's a lot of like interesting fashion in this game that I've noticed as I was pulling these characters. I was like, why are they wearing like these like Victorian looking like collars and stuff? It's like, this is a strange time period.
This is
like you're not a knight.
Yeah.
You're wearing like some frou-frou
This
like.
is out of some Vegas show here.
You're
or
like
something.
Louis the 14th or something. You're in like the Versailles court. Like what's going on?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So that's a no.
Yeah.
Your next one is
Ivy.
Ivy, the princess of Illusia.
Now, what is this thing on her head? What's this called? A fascinator? What is that called? Is that a veil? I mean, it looks like a manhole cover. Affixed to the top of her head.
It looks like she's about to like hibachi. And she's like, let me take my hat off to grill some meats. Yeah. Actually, that would be pretty useful, so maybe that's like extra points. It must be, I don't know. See, again, the fashion in this game a little.
So you can see, she has red eyes.
She has purple eyes.
Let me take a closer look at this. Oh, they're red, yeah. Okay, light. Okay, interesting.
I think her face is pretty behind the hibachi grill.
Yeah, I'm interested. And she's got like sort of like a black feather ruffle thing.
Yeah. It looks kind of like a little bit like dark and mysterious.
All right. It is very mysterious, but I'm intrigued.
Okay, all right. So that is a not a total like ill.
No.
All right.
Next for you. I believe there are a lot of French sounding names.
Louis.
So I think it's Louis.
Louis.
Because I can actually make out this Japanese, which is Louis.
Louis.
So I'm going to say his name is Louis.
Oh, I love the smile.
Louis is a heavy lance armor knight. So obviously
he's wearing a lot of armor
the
here.
big, bulky armor.
A little hard to see him,
but he's wearing wearing a big smile. You cannot see his eyes in this.
I do love people that smile like with their whole face, you know? Like when their eyes get all like smiley too. That's really cute. It's very endearing. And he's got kind of like a messy, like disheveled kind of hairstyle.
Yeah.
Like he's easygoing.
Right.
So that bodes well for him.
How do you feel about the heavy armor? It's obviously very bulky.
Yeah, but that means he's like probably buff underneath.
You don't know. You don't know what's going on under there.
But you have to be super strong to be able to carry around that armor. So my guess is he's got a six-pack.
Okay.
Underneath all that armor.
Good.
It's gonna be like a Game of Thrones scene where you're like taking off the armor for like 35 minutes, and I'm like making like dinner.
You seem to have a positive impression.
I have a positive impression of. I do like the smile a lot. I do like the smile.
Yeah.
All right, this one I'm curious to get your thoughts on. This is Yunaka.
Yunaka, the mysterious woman.
Yeah.
She's got stars on her cheek and her hair though.
Yeah, it got sometimes it could feel a little Cirque du Soleil. But then she is pretty.
The star on her face, like, it just looks like she got like a sticker on her face or something.
Like a stamp or something, like you drew on your face.
Obviously, my favorite member of Kiss is Paul Stanley, the Star Child, who also had a star over his eye. Over his eye.
So maybe
this is slightly different.
But it just kind of she has like a little performative quality to her.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean she's the mysterious woman. We don't know what the
circus freak.
Mysterious the mystery entails. But I'm intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a absolute no.
Not a thumbs down.
Not a thumbs down.
No.
All right.
Okay. Next for you, we have Vander, who.
Oh my.
Now the reason I chose let's see what it says. Vander, axe wielding knight who's on horseback.
Oh, I love horseback.
I chose Vander because I got sort of a Obi-Wan Kenobi vibe.
Oh yeah.
This chunky beard of his reminds me of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, he's handsome for like
and I remember you
making
some comments about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is hot.
And Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor is hot.
So I had to include this.
Yeah, I think he's handsome. He's definitely old though. Like the white hair, that's like you in your 70s, dude. Like that's old.
But he's got the heavy armor too. He's buff grandpa.
I was gonna say he could be buff grandpa. we used to know somebody that was old but really buff, and we used to call him buff grandpa.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the context behind that inside joke. He could be buff grandpa.
Yeah.
His face is like he's like the opposite of the guy before. He's like very hardened.
He's got powerful eyebrows.
He just looks like he is like gonna be so serious though about war, and that's it. That's like his only thing. Like I'm just gonna talk about war all the time, and I'm like everything is in dire straits.
Yeah.
So he's probably not very much fun to be around. But just by looks wise, he definitely is like a handsome older gentleman.
Are these armor suspenders? Is this ruining the the look for you? These blue things?
It looks weird.
It kind of hooks into. Like,
what's the deal with
that?
I
can't see his bottom half here.
Is it like a saddlebag kind of situation?
I mean, can I get like a rainbow version of those? The rainbow suspenders? Those are iconic.
So you put like corn in there for the horse, or like what is it? What's it supposed to be? I don't get it. That's
so okay. Seems like kind of a mixed reaction to old Vander.
Now you've shown me a lot of people wearing armor. I'm going to show you also somebody wearing armor. Okay. Her face is beautiful. Jade. She's a heavy armored knight as well. But yeah, like there are, characters, female and male characters in Fire Emblem that are heavy knights, and she's wearing the armor too.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I'm not having a great reaction to this one, and I'll tell you why. It's a little monochromatic to me. Is that the right word?
Like there's not that many colors?
Yeah, it's like her hair and her eyes are the same color, which is a little, and then her skin tone, it all just kind of blends into like this. It's like a blob. It's a little
beige.
A blob of face and hair.
Yeah, because she's got like sort of like this. Her face, her eyes and hair are like blonde, right?
Yeah, like some of these characters. I mean, obviously, Alir is so colorful. Like some of these other characters,
she's really colorful too.
Right,
like,
right. There's a lot of contrasts.
Yeah.
Chloe needs to say no more. But yeah, Jade not doing it for me.
Not doing it for you, and it's nothing to do with the armor. It's more so her features.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Now you're supposed to choose one that.
Well, I have one more to go here. I have a fourth. How many did you choose?
Yeah. Which I chose 5.
Good.
You did too.
You followed the directions. Okay, yes. Now this is another one I'm unclear on the pronunciation. I think it's Bune.
Oh, Bune.
That's I'm reading the Japanese, which is
this is
Bune.
This is the outfit I'm talking about.
Again, there's so many French pronunciations.
French, like the Louis XIV Versailles.
Let me read you a little description of Bune. A royal chef Bonet joins the list of
Joins?
new Engage characters as a great knight. So he's a chef and a great knight, so accomplished.
Okay. His look, I'm like already like no thanks.
Oh no!
Like he's so.
What is this called? Is this an ascot? Is
no,
this?
it's like a I don't know what
It looks like it like buttons on.
Oh no!
Like there's like a clip
Dabbing
on.
your face with your.
There's like a clip on tie. This is like a
kerchief?
clip on whatever this is.
The outfit aside, he's very like boring looking. He's just like some guy on the street that you would never.
Nobody on the street looks like this.
You would never look twice.
What
at that
street
face.
are you on?
Somewhere street. I would never like look again. It'd just be like this like, forgettable, very forgettable. But the credentials of a night chef is very interesting to me.
Horseback. Loves horses. You love horses.
I love horses and
that's got to be a bonus, right?
That's a huge bonus. That's why we
okay.
need to revise the list after we play the game because someone might be a jerk,
right.
and then you don't like him anymore
Yeah.
or whatever. So I'm just reading your document. It says kids.
Well, this isn't.
not look.
But don't look. I'm showing it to you now. But otherwise, don't look.
Okay. But yeah, I think if I didn't know that about him being a chef knight, he'd be near the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
He's got his hand out like this. He could be holding like a tray of appetizers.
Oh.
In the future, see?
Okay.
Please try these hors d'oeuvres.
Amuse-bouche?
Yeah,
He's
please.
gonna amuse my bouche?
Please.
Please.
Excuse you. All right. Seemed a little
character-
middle of the road as well.
Yeah. The last character we both chose for each other is a returning character.
Classic character who is
But
returning.
they've redesigned them, which
They
is
do.
really cool.
Which is why it's important that we reevaluate.
Yeah. So I have Lucina for you, a very classic character.
This is Lucina?
Yeah.
Oh, she looks quite different.
I know. I think better.
It's so the vibe I'm getting from this, which is it's so different. I'm trying to like make sense of this. It's almost like a ninja with the scarf.
Oh yeah.
So often
that's
there's
a
like
good point.
games like Shinobi, where like the scarf is like trailing, and then it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
these like what are these like three
It's
quarter?
like the three-quarter gloves.
gloves?
Yeah, fingerless three-quarter gloves.
I'm getting a real like ninja vibe from
kinda
this,
like this.
which I'm really liking.
Yeah.
I like this. The eyes are sparkling.
Yeah.
They look like jewels.
Jewels?
Look at me spin this poetry right now.
You're like pitching some woo to
I'm pitching.
Lucina.
I totally am.
Here, you can talk to her.
I'm into Lucina in this game. I can't believe this is Lucina. It looks really different.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I'm glad they redesigned some of these classic
All right.
characters.
Your last is not Crom. That would have been boring.
Too easy.
We have Ike.
I think Ike is so hot. In the
Now I know as I was choosing this
Ike
one,
look at his arm.
I knew you were going to say that.
Everyone, pay attention. This is who you look twice on the street.
Do the curls. This is let's see what it says.
Curls for the girls.
I knew you were going to say that. I can't say I've ever heard you say anything about Ike, good or bad, or just
Yeah,
you said
Ike
nothing.
used to be very forgettable. Now I'm like, I'm not
Oh.
going to forget you ever. Put
Really?
me in those arms.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Let's evaluate some other parts of Ike. This headband type thing. What do you think of that?
Take it or leave it. It's fine.
The hairstyle.
The
It's very
hairstyle's
like
not bad.
feathery.
It's cute. It's got a K-pop like BTS
right.
look to it. Really beautiful eyes, like intense eyes.
Now you.
Not smiling though.
I was gonna say
you could smile at some point.
You gave a bit of a thumbs down to one of our other people for having stern look on his
he's
face.
got a stern
He
look,
looks very.
too.
He looks determined.
But he doesn't. I know that's not Ike's personality.
I mean, compare this.
well, he's
to
hardened
this.
from his.
Is this just going to be Ike in like 30 years?
Probably.
They kind of now that I'm looking at it, they just kind of like flipped the asset and
Whoa.
gave him a beard and gave him some white hair.
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, he definitely he looks like a warrior.
Yeah.
He's certainly seen a thing or two.
Yeah. So obviously, Crom is at the top of your like. How big of a separation is there between Crom and Ike? Is it less than we might think?
Probably.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a little Lands vibe right now as well. Which,
I can see that.
It's my new
Yeah.
favorite.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Ike, this new redesign. I'm into it.
All right.
It's good stuff.
Great.
All right. So now we have to combine into one.
So now, all right.
List.
Should we start from the bottom or should we start from the top?
We should start from the bottom.
And we work our way to the middle. the boring middle.
The boring one might be the worst in the
Yeah.
bottom and the top. Honestly.
I think so.
Being in the middle is like literally
Right.
the worst.
All right. So
Anyways,
why don't you nominate your top
Ike.
and bottom
My top is Ike, my bottom is Alir.
Alir. Okay. I can get behind Alir being near the bottom. Near the bottom of
what
this
about
list.
you? You probably want to put Jade at the bottom, huh?
I would put Jade at the bottom and, was it Chloe at
the top?
Yeah. And
okay.
I think Chloe has a strong case for being number 1.
You don't have Lucina near the top? You really like
Lucina
her.
would be my second.
Okay, all right. So you're making a case for Chloe. Chloe over Lucina, huh? Okay.
Yeah. So you got Louis, you've got Vander, and you've got Bounet.
Bounet. Let's see. I think, just judging by looks, Bounet is probably near the bottom.
Oh, I thought you were going to say near the top. You would have...
Oh, no, because I don't like the way he looks. He's boring.
Yeah. Okay. So Bounet's near the bottom.
And then I would say the next one is probably Vander, followed by Louis.
So working up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this then, let's see.
So you already put Jade. 2
so
is
Lucina is 2. I'm going to go...
3 is Ivy, and then first is Chloe.
I'm going to go Yunaka 3.
Oh, Yunaka 3.
Ivy 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Chloe 1.
Chloe 1.
All right.
Right.
So I will give you Chloe 1 because she's a new character for Engage, while my character, Ike, that I picked as 1.
Because she's objectively the best looking one.
Well, Ike is very hot, but
Okay.
he's also returning characters not as...
That's true. You have to give the edge.
You're giving the edge to Chloe.
Right.
So Chloe 1.
So
Ike is 2.
Ike is 2. Your number 2 was Louis?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I think your number 2 of Yunaka is probably stronger.
No, my number 2 was Lucina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
Lucina is probably stronger.
Okay. And then I kind of care less, so I'm willing to do like a run on yours, like Louis, Vander,
Bounet.
if you want to do that.
Okay, so then we got 1 Chloe, 2 Ike, 3 Lucina, 4 is Louis, 5 is Vander, 6 is Bounet.
Yeah.
7 is Yunaka.
Yeah.
8 is Ivy. 9 is Jade, and 10 is Alir. Yes?
Oh, that's never good when your main character.
Well, remember we saw the main character were totally turned off from this game, and then we made fun of it for like a long time.
But that's a bad sign, though.
It's a bad sign. It did not, like, I was disappointed when I saw that main character, and it made me not really interested in the game until recently.
Right.
Until I got so bored that I was desperate. And now I have to play this game.
I know, yeah.
So that is very, very telling, isn't it?
Wow, we pretty easily knocked that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited, though, now to play this game. Again,
well,
I've talked myself into this.
Yeah,
now, you know?
we put out a poll for our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
And we talked just generally, because obviously nobody's played this game yet. So what do you enjoy most about the series? And the options were strategic battles, epic stories, relationship building, and admiring waifus and or husbandos.
Yeah.
And strategic battles took the top in a landslide. And then stories and admiring waifus and husbandos was pretty neck and neck, with relationship building coming in last.
Yeah.
Which I think this makes sense.
I think that definitely makes sense. I think when I think about Fire Emblem, like the way to describe it to somebody that's never played is like, basically it's playing chess with really hot people. Like really hot pieces, you know?
Right.
And then the core of it obviously is the battle. So I kind of agree with our community on that. Although the relationship building gives it an edge to make it fun, because you can like, you know, you have this other side of it that's interesting in between those battles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with them.
Yeah. Just Camtro said, I'm not planning to get engaged, but I enjoy epic stories. I've never found the same feeling with new Fire Emblem games as I did with Awakening. That game was so great.
I so agree with you. Although I've liked the games that have come after
You've
Awakening.
liked them all since then.
I like them all, but Awakening has been my top Fire Emblem game, and it has never been unseated yet. So I agree with Just Camtro that Awakening is very special.
Yeah, Awakening definitely had something that just, reached beyond the normal Fire Emblem fans.
Yeah.
In ways that even the games since I don't think have had
quite as as good, but they're still good. I still really enjoyed all of them.
John Responte says, I will happily be the first to vote for relationship building. Three Houses was my first real entry into the series, and my favorite thing about it has to be the way you get to truly connect with all the characters. Every single one of them has their own goals and motivations that make them feel like real people. 3 Houses released right after I graduated high school and was moving on to college, so being able to build relationships with my Blue Line gang gave me some of the confidence boost I needed to go out and try to make real friendships with people at college.
Oh my gosh, that's really
It's an incredible
sweet.
comment.
That's really cool. And I think it makes sense because it takes place in a school.
Right.
So it like fits perfectly with where I think John was in his life, which is
Yeah.
really cool. It's true. Like that relationship building part is really special in these games. And I am notorious for keeping a relationship notebook, which I will be starting for Engage.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Will you be sharing? Will you be sharing it with us?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'll share it. I'll share it in the Discord.
Oh, good. And then Thomas Weir said, I'm going to skip a Fire Emblem game for the first time in my life. This looks like the consolization of Fire Emblem Heroes as opposed to a new and unique chapter in the series. Add to that over-the-top character designs and a whole gimmicky Engage system. Pass.
Yeah. I was kind of feeling the same way as Tom for a bit. Like I wasn't really sure exactly what the game was going to be and how different it was going to be and if it was going to sort of feel like, a true Fire Emblem like mainline game, but I'm willing to give it a try in my vast boredom.
We got a number of comments with this poll that were along the lines of, I might skip it, I'm not super into this.
Yeah,
so
we were like that too.
I think we are not alone in feeling that way.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah, again.
There's something about this game, from the first time we saw it in our direct, like it just didn't quite click with me. I didn't get like as excited as I would for a Fire Emblem game, which I'm always like totally over the moon for.
Yeah.
But again, willing to give it a shot. There are people that are really excited for it. The game is really beautiful, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
It might surprise us all, right?
Yeah. And again, we've had such a lull of games. Like the games we've been playing section is maybe like the smallest it's ever been for this episode.
I'm feeling so like, I don't know, I feel like I haven't been able to like bite into a really like good game.
So I'm kind of like
hooked on something for a while.
For a game I was very meh on, I'm actually like quite hyped for this to come out.
I know. Now I just want someone to talk to about this, and like
right.
we have our channel that people are excited to talk, and I'm like, okay, I just need that. I need the community. Like I need someone to. Like, we all need to play the same game again. We all need to talk about it. Like I miss that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So anyway.
Since some people may be going through this math in their head, choosing whether to play kind of the classic mode with the permadeath or the more casual mode. You have done both?
No, I'm always a classic mode kind of girl in Fire Emblem.
Wow.
I'm a restarter. I will.
That doesn't count then. That's such a cop-out. You can't restart. You might as well just play casual mode.
No, it's not.
What's the difference?
I barely lose anybody, but if I do, I will restart.
Are there times where you just let a character go?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's at your discretion to restart.
Yeah, I lost Donnie. Pod-headed Donnie.
I've switched over to the casual mode.
This is the only game where
because,
I'm like digging myself into
if I lose Chloe or something, like I have no reason to keep playing this game. So
I have no reason to live.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to restart it. I strongly feel like that's a cop-out.
I restart a battle.
Fine. So I don't want to do that. And it's like they shouldn't call it casual mode. It's just a different way to play it. Like
permadeath is
I mean,
severe.
I absolutely respect the people that do the permadeath. That's a choice, and that's definitely a way to play the game.
Your heart is pounding when you do it. Because even if you do restart, it's like a significant time commitment that you basically have to.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not for everybody.
You have to be very careful if you play a different way than you would in a casual mode.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no judgment for people choosing to play.
Yeah, I don't judge
the casual mode. Yeah,
but I've never ever played a Fire Emblem game in casual mode. I've only played in hardcore mode. So
it's a cop out. You're the one who should get judged.
No,
yes,
it's not a cop out. Not at all.
We'll see what the people have to say.
Not at all. All right, shall we move on to story time?
Yeah, let's.
Okay, wow. Let's take you through this.
Yes, so we mentioned at the top, we had a close call with Smash Ultimate before it was announced. Mm-hmm. This took place in a Nintendo Minute video called Nintendo Minute, The Winter Competition, which aired February 9th, 2018. I don't know why I'm saying this. You can't look it up. The video's gone. It's important, though, for a few reasons. It's called the Winter Competition because it took place during the Winter Olympics, which happened in Korea that year. And we wanted to do a fun video kind of following that style.
Like people were talking about the Olympics, so we were like, oh, we'll do like a fun winter competition in these different videos.
We did, I think we did like a triathlon.
Yeah, we did Shield Surfing in Zelda, we did a Mario Kart race, and then we did something in Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey, where you're like bouncing around. Right. So obviously we could not use the word Olympics.
Yeah, it was really funny if you watched the video. I'll put some clips here.
Yeah, we actually did work on the Mario and Sonic Olympics games, and we learned that working on anything Olympics related is a disaster.
Yes,
you basically can't do anything.
Is crazy. They're maybe the craziest people ever.
Yeah.
And you have to be really careful. So there's like a lot of tongue-in-cheek like moments where I'm like, so there's a lot of talk right now about competition and sports.
About something.
And it sounds ridiculous because we couldn't say it, but I was trying to make it funny.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that kind of language in that video.
Now I'm wondering, I have a question since we have such a global audience. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, are you just really annoyed that it's called the Winter Olympics?
That's true.
It's actually happening during your summer? Or vice versa? The Summer Olympics are happening when you're freezing?
That's true.
This is not thoughtful. This is supposed to be for a global audience, and yet you called it that?
If the Olympics are for like
half the world, it doesn't count?
And you have people from those countries representing their country?
Come on.
Weird. Yeah. Maybe we should just call it like that month, like the December Olympics or the July Olympics.
Come on, Olympics. No wonder,
Olympics are...
No wonder nobody cares anymore.
They need like an overhaul. It's it's kind of terrible,
after these last Olympics.
It's terrible. Anyways.
So, again, remember, February 9th. That's important, again, for another reason, which was we were announcing Smash Brothers Ultimate about a month later in a Nintendo Direct that aired on March 8th.
Yeah, it's almost exactly a month later.
2018.
Yeah.
And
hype was real.
And at that point, we all knew in the company that the Direct was coming. We were working on it. We knew that Smash was going to be announced. The hype was really intense.
Over the top. It was like more intense than I've ever seen it before. There was so many rumors and so much speculation from people.
And again, typically the Direct happened in February, so people were starting to get really like antsy and like grumpy and snapping at each other because of all these rumors, like, oh, you're wrong, no, you're kicked out of this,
I hate you, whatever. Right. And then there also was like on the Nintendo internal side, we were on like major leak watch at this moment. Like everybody was like hyper like vigilant about anything potentially that could go out from any of our official channels, even if it was even if it was like another post about something, if it had a whisper,
teasing something, hinting at something,
and we had really gotten the finger wagging like a couple of times leading up to this because Smash is such a big thing, and there was all these expectations, like with Sakurai wanting it to make it the announcement like really perfect, obviously. So we had gotten like the lecture many times that was like, you guys need to like scrub your social, make sure all of your content does not hint or unintentionally hint in any way towards Smash. Yeah. Like you will be in big trouble if you let anything like that slide.
Right. So in this video, back to the video, since we were trying to emulate the Olympics, at the end we needed to put a gold medal on the winner. And I think you had a medal that just happened to have
it had a smash
ball.
Yeah, it was a huge like gold medal with a Smash Ball logo on it.
And when we were filming it, it didn't resonate as an issue. I think we were just like, oh, like it'll be really small, like we'll see it in the edit. It's not going to be anything.
Yeah.
Like people will just get it's a medal, and it doesn't mean anything. But then we filmed it, and then we saw the first cut of this video, and I think we were both like, oh no.
Again, we had gotten the lecture, so we were like a little bit scared.
We were scared.
As we should have been.
And we were absolutely scared when we saw this video, where at the end, I won, by the way. Not a lot's changed over the years. In a sweep, 3-0.
It's gone now. You can't prove that at all.
It's on a Facebook page.
It's not.
It's somewhere.
There. It's on a Wii U.
It's on a 3DS.
It's gone. These records are wiped.
It's not. But anyway, we saw that first edit, and it was like, we have to do something. And it was like, well, what can we do? Like, we can't, like, you'd have a huge hole if the video just ends. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, but the whole back part of the video was like us saying like so-and-so won and like this is the score.
Right.
And, you know, it was like the outro. So like.
You had to do something to like pay off the victory.
And I think we also got that edit kind of later than normal.
Yeah.
So we couldn't reshoot it.
We were really behind.
Yeah, it was like Thursday or something.
So we like sat down, the editor's like, look, this is what's going on. Like, you need to like make that thing
disappear.
So like they turn around another fast edit, but they didn't really do.
They tried to like blur it. I think in the first.
Or they like zoomed in. It was like half crop, but you could still very clearly see what it is.
And especially when it was zoomed in, it was even more noticeable. That
it was just bigger, right? Or they like half pixelated it, but that was like drawing your attention to it. Like, what's that?
Like, why is that there?
That's
it's like if
weird.
you pixelate something, someone's gonna add.
Is that like a bare butt on there or something? Or like what's going on here?
Eggplant emoji.
So again, we sit them down again. It was like. No.
11th hour. This is like Thursday.
Our jobs are on the line.
Like we can't release this video. We can't.
Right.
Like we can't have one this week.
So I think they got the message because, like, as I was putting on the medal, wearing the medal, there's just this huge graphic that was
we'll put the video.
Kit first place.
Yeah.
That went for like the whole
winner.
Yeah, that went.
But it was so awkward because you never leave a graphic on. Like,
yeah.
It just looks so awkward, and you can still see like the metal.
I could see that I was wearing it. You could see the little strap.
The strap of the metal around your neck, and then just like right over your entire like chest area was this like huge, really kind of ugly like graphic that they just whipped up.
But you couldn't see it. And, I mean, it was awkward, but it was like it did the
Who
job.
cares
It did the job,
point?
right?
Like, whatever.
Yeah. So he was like, yes, let's do that. Put the video out. But for some reason, I was really paranoid about this. Like they're gonna upload the wrong version. It's gonna have the old one.
So we were like checking it. Like
I was. Like, super paranoid.
We're gonna get fired.
Like I'm not a paranoid person. I got really paranoid about this.
We were so scared.
Or like people are gonna find a way. Like they're gonna put it through some filter, and you can see it.
You can
like,
see underneath.
I know. I was like,
someone's gonna see like, and then they're gonna be like, oh, he's wearing.
They're covering it up because it's a secret. They wanted us to find out, and we're gonna know it's Smash Brothers.
Because everybody was so worked up.
Yeah, people were so worked up. Like it would have been. It would have been a huge problem if that Smash Ball had been seen, because there was no reason. There was no reason for Smash to be included in that video.
We didn't even play a Smash game in
at all. There was no Smash.
We didn't play Smash for a reason because we didn't want to hint at Smash.
Exactly. Yeah. So they would have caught on to it. We would have been.
We would have gone.
We would have gone to solitary confinement.
I think they would have canceled the show.
The whole canceled us. Cancel the show. Cancel everything.
I don't even know.
Cancel the game. Cancel Smash Brothers.
I can't. I'm like my knees are like weak thinking about the consequences of if we didn't catch that.
I wonder if people are thinking that we're like blowing this out of proportion, but that was absolutely the mindset.
The atmosphere at Nintendo.
Yeah, maybe you had to be there, but that's how people were feeling.
That's how people were feeling, and like if you think if you think back to what the fan conversation was like in that time,
right?
And like imagine any Nintendo Direct now and times that by like 5,000. Because people were so like pent up about Smash, and it was very obvious that it was going to come like any day now. So I think people were just the anticipation had gotten so heightened. It was such a terrible time, honestly, because we just lived in fear. We like walked on these eggshells.
It would have been our like burning Chibi Robo moment, which would not have been good. But we're gonna be getting into that. We're getting close to this direct hype zone.
I know.
What is it now? It's like mid-January.
Yeah, February is
we're gonna be there soon.
We're gonna be there soon. I mean, we're not gonna be there soon.
Right, but imagine if we got to February and then people had to wait another month.
Yeah.
This is how people were just
it was kind of like last year when there wasn't a direct. Remember, we said there wasn't a direct like in that June time frame,
right?
Because they skipped E3, and then people got really upset, and then they did like that indie showcase instead, and people were really pissed. It's like that kind of thing again. People get real worked
Bakugan?
up. Then there's Bakugan. Oh boy.
Paper Mario and Bakugan.
We shall not speak of the unfortunate incidents of Bakugan. But yeah, it was absolutely like one of those. It's very serious. Like it's funny now, and it seems so stupid, and it is, and insignificant. But at the time, it would have probably cost us like our jobs, or we would have had. It would have been like significant consequences.
Yeah.
like it would probably result in like the show getting canceled and all sorts of.
I'd be in jail, Nintendo jail.
You'll be in jail.
I wouldn't be able to get out. No, locked up for life. Yeah,
with the ninjas patrolling you and giving you like gruel to eat every day. And you can social media from in there call you on that phone.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
So there's a, I don't know if it's a happy ending, it's just an ending.
It's just an ending.
It just happened, yeah.
And then the direct came out and the game got announced and we all breathed
there was no
a sigh of relief for not having it, for it not leaking. And it was all was well for a little while.
Right.
But that was a hard time.
Yeah. All right, on to happier things, including what we are playing, which, as I said, is a really light list.
Yeah, it's been, again, we've been in like our dabble mode since the beginning of the year. Actually, since like December of last year. So we've both been still chugging along with High on Life. Now you have...
Have you finished this yet?
I'm pretty close to the end,
okay.
I think. Yeah. I think I will finish it because I'm just so close now. You said that you kind of like you're kind of done with it.
I fell off. Yeah,
you're done with it.
I think I looked at a guide to just see how long the game was. I think I got maybe 2/3 through, and then I hit kind of like an important. I mean, the game thought it was an important story beat.
Yeah, it was. It was like a
that was quite a lot of exposition and a lot of talking, and a lot of like. You know, the game has this lighthearted, like goofy tone. It was like it got kind of serious, and I was like, I'm not sure this game knows why I'm here. It's not for this.
Right. It's very Rick and Morty.
Okay.
I think, yeah, because they do have like these really zany situations that the characters are in, and sometimes they have like real serious stuff that they like drop in, and you're like, oh, this is like dark.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is. It kind of feels a little bit dark, and there's a lot of talking though.
Yeah, it's a lot of talking, and it's like I liked it because it was this kind of light breezy thing where it's like, there was talking, but you were doing stuff where you were talking, and this was just like stand in place.
Yeah,
but
you
cannot
were at
move.
the Space Applebee's.
You did go to a Space Applebee's, which I'm very interested in.
That Space Applebee's was pretty awesome. They
must have licensed the Applebee's name.
They must have.
And there's actually like menu items that you can order.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, there's like some weird stuff with like the creator and like fast food stuff, because there's another thing that he did around like the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's.
Was that one of his things?
Yeah, I remember that was like trending, and like McDonald's was like, "We'll make it for you if you release the next season."
Okay.
So there must be some like he has like a thing, I guess, for like weird fast food stuff.
Yeah.
But the Applebee's thing was it's really weird. There's a lot of talking, and then so I'm beyond that now. Sort of in the final phase of the final chapter of the game or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably finish it up this week and then play Fire Emblem.
Yeah. It's a shame I couldn't finish it, but I just don't like it when a game kind of abandons the thing that it's been doing for you and doing well for a number of hours, especially in such a like record scratch kind of way that's like, well, now you're just wasting my time and I've lost the will to continue.
Wow.
You know?
Your will to continue in games is very like short fuse.
I don't want to.
Fuse is very short.
When I feel like my time is being wasted, it's just like that's it. That's it. Yeah. Games, people. Don't waste my time.
Don't waste my time.
I'm looking at you.
You're wasting my time right now.
Well, clearly nobody's wasting anybody's time. We're both here. You've been playing some Playdate games also.
I have very behind on my Playdate games because, they do a weekly drop, right? Yeah. So I had lots of little presents to open. Yeah. And then I'm really in this mood right now, though, lately, where it's like, I just want these ambient game experiences. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to play a game and I want to play it sort of in the background. Like, I don't want to really, like, park myself in front of, my, projector and then, like, play this, like, really involved game. Like, I don't have the energy for it right now. I don't know why. So the Playdate stuff is actually perfect because it's perfect for that. Like, it's like a tiny little thing. You can just, like, pick it up, put it down. You can watch TV in the background or listen to music in the background and just kind of hang out. And I tried some of the new ones that they dropped, and they're pretty good. There is another like golf game. I'm like, what's the deal?
See, I'm onto something.
With golf,
the zany golf genre is
called
exploding.
Executive golf, and it's
hilarious.
Like the name. And you like hit these golf balls like it's almost like Pong. You hit it through the floors of an office building and try to get to the top. You start at like the bottom.
So this gets a thumbs up.
It's pretty cute.
Executive golf. Okay.
Executive golf. The other one I played was, I can't remember the name, but it was a dog delivery service.
Oh, I forget the name. I didn't like this one so much.
And it's like a match 3 kind of game,
Yeah,
and then you kind of, it's almost like Tetris.
It felt like a very like standard puzzle game.
Yeah, but I like the dog. The dog's real cute.
Sure.
So that was good.
Yeah.
And then the other one I played, the game title screen doesn't even have a
It doesn't
title.
have a name.
It's an eyeball.
I know which one you're talking
thing.
about. I liked this one.
And it's a puzzle game, very clever. You basically have these like openings and these circles, and you have to move this like little marble.
It's like a marble in a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And you turn the crank to turn the wheel.
Turn the wheel.
Right.
And then the direction you go controls the direction of the little marble.
Right.
And so you had to get it through all these obstacles. It kind of reminds me when you were a kid and you get those games where it's like that ball in a maze.
Oh, sure.
And you're like fiddling with it, trying to
Yeah.
get that ball
Yeah,
into
yeah.
the hole in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It's like that.
Right. But it was all crank to
all
just
crank.
turn.
Yeah, and it's like, it's very like sensitive. Like you don't, if you turn it like a millimeter too much, it like hits the barrier and you have to start over. Real cute. Real fun.
It got a little bit hard,
It's pretty hard.
a little bit fast, and my issue was, so, you know, the hamster wheel is like a circle in front of you, but the crank is not oriented the same way.
That's right. You have to, your directions can get messed up.
So I would get spit into another hamster wheel, and I'm like, which way do I turn it? And I would turn it, again, like half an inch the wrong way, and I'd die.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no.
I know, you have to
So maybe there's just something in my brain that needs to click to know
which direction to go.
how to get reoriented.
It's like right or left versus like up or down or whatever.
Right.
Which is like a thing that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That one was fun. So yeah, I've been like dabbling with some of those. But yeah, it's nice to like even if you don't turn it on for a while, you go back to Playdate and then like you got all these new things to check out, and it's fine. Like it's like very simple, like little small experiences, and it's just nice to like have a little thing that you can just kind of carry around or play in the background.
Right.
So I've been quite enjoying that. You know,
Okay.
It's nice to have these little background games.
Yeah.
One more game that I that I beat.
You beat?
Melatonin.
Oh, you beat it.
I beat it.
Good.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think, it's like such a like fun way to modernize the rhythm game genre, because it definitely has like a bit of a rhythm heaven feel to it. But even like the fun little things that you dream about are very relatable to like everyone's life. Like you dream about like money and like dating and like, you know, that kind of stuff. So you feel, it feels like very, almost like a diary, but in a rhythm game format. So I really liked it. And the ending, it was really cute. Like you sort of spend the night dreaming, and then the very last level you wake up. And you kind of do like a whole, like it does all the mini games together in one big long rhythm game.
Yeah.
So it was very, very clever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I recommend.
You said you also got the mobile version of Vampire Survivors, or
I did.
have you not?
I did.
Thoughts
I
on
did.
that?
It's hard. I think it's harder than the console
Getting the
version.
movement right is.
I like can't move my finger like fast enough. I do like that it's vertical. I think that's pretty cool. The ad stuff that you were talking about is like super clever. I wish I can unlock. Right now, I still haven't unlocked the character that I like to use the
Who is
most.
that?
Which is the one that like shoots out those like little diamond.
Oh, that one.
What's
Yes.
her name?
I forget her name, but yeah, she has the weapon that bounces around.
Yeah. Basically, it's like it's like if you play pool.
It's like a ricochet thing.
Yeah, it has like these angles that it bounces around. I like that one because like you have a better chance of escaping.
Yeah.
And you can like go back and collect the little blue things. So I just have the first character with the whip right now, and I feel like it's really hard to like change direction.
It kind of is.
That's my only only thing that's, I'm still playing it, but I think it's harder than the console version. That version's already pretty hard. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did pick up the DLC for that, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet. So maybe soon, more impressions on that.
All right.
Well, hopefully we'll have a big Fire Emblem update next week.
Yes,
once we've been
that
playing
would be
it.
good.
Yeah. All right, time for news. Ubisoft came out with kind of a bummer of an update on a number of fronts. So they said, here we go, for the 6th time, they have delayed Skull and Bones, this pirate game. They have canceled 3 more unannounced games. and they have said that Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope underperformed.
Yeah.
Also, Just Dance underperformed. Well, shoot. Ubisoft, that's not great.
So sad, because Mario plus Rabbids was such a great game. I'm so disappointed that it underperformed. It's really unfortunate. Just Dance, I feel like that genre is like going away, you know? So I can see how that is maybe more expected.
The Wii version finally fell off.
Oh my god, they always made the Wii version.
15 years later.
How can they still make the Wii version?
Sales on the Wii version were a little soft.
Yeah.
Maybe the GameCube version can pick it up.
Maybe, yeah, seriously. Let's just go backwards in
Yeah,
time.
we're just going to keep going backwards.
Game Boy version of Just Dance 2024.
Yeah, the Mario and Rabbids thing, I'm trying to think, like, what was it? Because it seemed like that first version did great.
Yeah.
But that was also, like, at the launch, and people were just excited for anything.
Anything Switch.
And I think there was, like, a real novelty to, like, Mario and Rabbids, and it's good? I got to check that
Yeah,
out.
and it's, like, this different kind of, like, strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, just some general fatigue around that idea.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, what did it launch? What was also launching in that window? Do we remember?
Well, I mean, it was October, so it was busy. Remember, Bayonetta was right there.
Yeah.
Maybe more people chose to get Bayonetta. I don't know.
Say, yeah, maybe the timing of when it launched.
I mean, you'd think a game with Mario would, do fine, but
yeah,
this really makes me wonder if there are going to be more of these games.
Yeah.
I don't think Ubisoft just has carte blanche to make any Mario game. It was,
No.
specifically
it was specific
this.
to this, right?
So,
Right. But what is? I mean, they also kind of hinted at this upcoming restructuring, so I wonder if they're going to look at their entire portfolio. And
well, I'll just read this quote that they had in this
Yeah.
announcement, which was, the company's facing major challenges as the industry continues to shift towards mega brands and long-lasting titles that can reach players across the globe, across platforms, and business models. So
do they mean that it's shifting towards like only AAA titles get sort of the light of day, and these smaller like second tier games or whatever they want to call it?
I feel like
have a chance anymore.
I feel like they did have
reality?
some dabbly sorts of games. Like they had a really weird, I think it was one of the Tom Clancy games. I think it was either Ghost Recon or Rainbow Six. That felt tonally very like, it was like extreme sports version of Ghost Recon, which just seemed weird. I'm sure that game didn't do well.
Yeah.
This was also one of the companies that was kind of dancing around NFTs and experimenting with that, which obviously nobody wanted.
Yeah. Sure.
But, I mean, they do have these mega brands, with the rest of the Clancy stuff and Assassin's Creed. So
Maybe they're shifting their resources to just focus on like mainline stuff like that.
I mean, they've been pumping those out, and they seem to have a popular version of both Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six that are like ongoing games.
Right. And they already announced all of their Assassin's Creed projects.
Right.
Unless they go and cancel them. I don't know. I don't think they would, though.
What's funny, though, is they talk about long-lasting titles, but they've also been very public in saying this next Assassin's Creed is not going to be it's going to be very focused, smaller in scope.
Right.
So it's like, did you just shoot yourself in the foot by saying this? Like, nobody wants this game we're making. It's not even out yet.
But what do they mean by long-lasting titles? Do they mean like a long-lasting franchise?
I think they think of like a Fortnite, where it's like, there's
games like a game for service kind of thing?
Endless content being constantly released, sort of thing.
Not everyone has to do that,
So,
honestly.
I think that's...
Seriously, not everyone has to do that. Don't play in that pool,
I think it's an oversimplification because, I mean, that's absolutely what they did with the last Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, where it's, it was a way too big of a game to begin with. We both finished that game.
And there was like a million things left.
It was like 80 hours just to like critical path that game.
Bare minimum.
And then they kept releasing content for it over and over, and I think by the end people were just super burnt out and bored.
I think with that kind of game, there's like so much threshold you have, before someone wants to move on to a different world.
Right.
Like the whole point of that series is that you get to explore like all these cool like historical moments in different places. So no one wants to play like the same thing for a long time.
The additional content they put out for that also didn't feel that compelling. Once you've beaten the game, it's like, oh, you've got more like town design options, or there's this like like limited time event.
Yeah,
That's like,
it doesn't really give you like a good reason to go back at all. So
unlock more tattoos for your characters. It's like,
who
but I'm done with
cares?
this. Why would I come back? So maybe
Right.
maybe that's something they can get right. But,
yeah, the
but
balance of that.
Yeah, but I mean, it does seem like the kind of game as service version they have of Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six are doing well. I wonder if they could do. I don't know. I still think of those games as like the big, release, kind of like Call of Duty still is.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is coming out on this day, but they also have Warzone, which is the ongoing version. Maybe there's a balance they can do with those games, those shootery kind of games. And then the Skull and Bones thing is just embarrassing. I'm surprised. Maybe they've just sunk so much into it. Like we can't pull the plug now.
Cancel it.
But yikes!
Oh, that's gotta
Sixth
be
time delayed.
a huge drain of resources too. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This development just being dragged out over how many years now?
I remember when that was announced.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool! Like a cool looking pirate.
Yeah, I remember that.
Game.
Yeah. People love a good pirate game.
Not so much though. So seems like it's tough times for them.
I know, it's too bad.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can turn it around.
We also heard about an event that Xbox is doing, the Xbox Developer Direct.
Oh, boy.
Which is coming January 25th, which is, what's that, next week?
Yeah.
So they are giving people an inside look at Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall.
Oh, yes, Redfall.
And they specifically said that Starfield will not be included, but they said to dedicate the proper amount of time for a deep dive into Starfield, a standalone show is in the works.
Title Direct.
Our prediction. Holiday release for
release. They're gonna get
Starfield.
delayed,
Might be coming true.
Might be coming true for sure.
What do you think of this?
Well, we had a discussion about how calling it a developer direct is a little bit dangerous.
I just think it's tacky. I don't know
it's
why
tacky. I think
you
it's
would.
a little dangerous.
I don't know why you would need to do
Why
that.
would you associate yourself with something that people have the highest expectations towards?
Right.
It's like it's not gonna go well for you. Someone's gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, and I mean, people expect a certain degree of news to be shared. People expect it to be shared in a certain way. They expect the pacing to be a certain way. So you're locking yourself into that. But also, I imagine that Xbox wants this to be a regular thing that they're going to do over time. So why not come up with
like a good brand name for it that you could use?
Yeah, that you can own and you can manage fully. Versus like now Direct is just like Kleenex, where it's just like the generic name for this thing.
Exactly.
And it was kind of like funny when like Devolver did it, or there was some there's like the Cozy Direct. It's like, oh, that's cute.
That's cute because they're like indies,
right?
Though. It's like you're a huge publisher,
and this is like a major competitor
right.
to Nintendo too. So it's weird that it's like you're giving them that nod of the cap of like, oh, there's no better way to do it than call it a Direct. So we're just going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a little bit strange.
Yeah, but beyond the naming, we were predicting that. Well, we were predicting and hoping that they would start showing giving us some news, even if they have sort of a down year. It's nice to see it, These aren't like Fable games, obviously, or to that caliber, but they're still games that I think people are interested in and interested in learning about. I actually forgot about Redfall. That game did look pretty interesting to me when I saw it last year in the showcase that they did. It seemed pretty cool, so I'd like to see more of that one. That one's probably the only one that I'm curious about.
Yeah, the other half of the naming, it says, the game creators themselves are going to be presenting new information on this game. It feels like it could be like a cross between like a Treehouse Live and a Nintendo Direct, where you're seeing like a live demo and hearing from somebody. That could be cool.
Yeah, that's great.
I think they've said it's going to be about 45 minutes, so it's not going to be, if you've got 4 games, that's like 10 minutes a game.
Yeah. Seems like I
could see that being cool.
Length.
Yeah, but I mean, they definitely need to do something to get the hype going a little bit. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's good that they're sharing it, and it's good that it's being shared directly from the developers themselves. I think that's, again, one thing that we wish Nintendo would do more of. So it's good that Microsoft is doing that.
Yeah. All right. On to our questions from Patreon, of course, every single time. Every single question we get is from our Patreon community. We've got some good ones this week. And we'll start with a question from Brewstash. Has there ever been any discussion at Nintendo in terms of exploring the option of crowdfunding for any projects? I'm thinking if it did, it could have been around the time when the Ouya had a successful Kickstarter campaign of raising $8.5 million, despite the Ouya itself ending up being a flop. On the topic of crowdfunding, Kit and Krysta, have you personally backed any projects on crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I cannot imagine that as a topic of discussion at all at Nintendo. They're so traditional and
well, you kind of can't do this when you've got a lot of money.
right. It doesn't look good.
It's a really bad look to be like, well, you guys take the risk on this thing.
Yeah,
if you want it so bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the reason these companies are doing it because they legitimately need the money, or they need to know that a certain amount of interest is there to make it financially viable. But for a big company, that would be a real
especially for Nintendo, where they are notorious for like having a lot of savings, a lot of money in the bank, as they say.
Right.
It's like it would be a very weird ask to the fans, I think.
I think they would also not like you are. I mean, you're not asking them to help you create the game, but you are ceding some amount of control over to the people.
Right, yeah.
It's like they're the investors in this project, so they feel maybe a bit more invested than, I mean, people already feel quite invested in these properties.
For some reason, yeah.
But I could see that dynamic getting really...
like hairy with the development team.
Yeah, of like, oh, well, I invested this money, but this isn't what I expected, and, you know, I could see that being nasty.
I've lost a certain amount of control from that, and yeah.
Right.
For sure. The only game that I've backed is Shovel Knight. When they first had a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I do think that they've really like promised a lot, though.
They may have overpromised.
Yeah, to their Kickstarter campaign, but I do respect them for using that as a way to sort of build Shovel Knight into like a really, really well-known brand. Like, it blew up, you know, and it's still like super popular. They have so many spin-offs, you know, they have an amiibo. Like, it just feels like that was like necessary for them to do it that way. Yeah. Or else how could they have grown that IP, you know?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever done one of these. And I think there's like for every Shovel Knight, there's a lot of other examples of this thing went off the rails, or this thing like never came out, or this thing was shady. So it's like, you know, normally when these things get to the level of you hearing about them, it's like, oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'll just buy it then.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just keep an eye on this and I'll just buy it that way.
Yeah. You can still support them through like a sale.
Because a lot of times the other little like perks that you get aren't necessarily things I'm really that interested in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still supporting it, but just at a different time frame. Kai X has the next question. Can you think of a gaming fail that was bigger than the Google Stadia? I know there have been consoles that were considered failures, but has anything been worse than canceling the entire thing and refunding everyone?
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Canceling the entire thing and refunding everybody. And good for them for refunding everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Like, that one, I think not only did it just completely fail, but it also was like quite dangerous for your eyes. So I think like from a, you know, like a product safety standpoint, it really was not good.
Right.
And that's pretty bad for your brand. At least the Google Stadia didn't burn out your corneas, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, Stadia was like, it was lull-worthy, and yes, it's extreme to pay back everybody, but it also, like, Google was also never really in on this from the first place.
And it was always like the side project.
It also did not hurt that company at all to do that drastic measure of refunding everybody.
Exactly.
So
Drop in the bucket.
I think of something like, the Virtual Boy, like, or like the Wii U, like that almost sank Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or the Sega Saturn, you know, which, you know, Sega was really riding high from the Genesis, and then the Saturn, just like the circumstances around that were really bad, and they kind of never recovered in hardware.
And they didn't make hardware again, really.
So I think those examples, even though those companies survived and went on to do good things, are more damaging to those companies than Stadia, which like, who was really had very high hopes for that.
And then,
in the
like,
first place.
again, the thing about Google being completely fine from it,
Yeah.
and not really feeling
Just move on.
Feeling it is something that.
Or they'll
that's
they'll just like reinvest that technology into YouTube or something, or
Into
like
something
19
else,
other
yeah.
things, and like, yeah, great. Chewy Plays Nintendo, I'm assuming that's NTDO, asks, there's a big culture around Nintendo rumors. I was wondering if there were rumors within Nintendo about games, directs, or any news regarding Nintendo. This is an interesting question.
So
Within the
rumors.
company, were there people spreading rumors or sneaking around for information?
Ooh, yeah, definitely, because the list of people that actually knew, unannounced things was pretty small.
Right.
And they're Nintendo is very internally very strict about, you are only supposed to know if you really need to know. They're really they're always looking out for leaks and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely some people that knew information that they knew information, that they would have to be tight-lipped about stuff, and people would try to get it out of them or try to get them to hint at things. But yeah, I mean, that happened all the time. I think that we were so scared that no one actually told anybody anything. We were all pretty well behaved.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't even tell me anything. So
I think also if like somebody was being really like persistent on that, they would get ratted out.
Yeah.
And taken care of also.
Exactly.
Because I think the people who had the information like knew well enough to protect it and not, be loose with it.
That's right. Because we were told, like, we were so scared at the consequences of it. There was like such a severe consequence for not being careful with the information you were disclosed to know.
Yeah. So ultimately, I do think there probably was, groups that were, having these discussions or, speculating, but I think they were just not the groups that we were intimately involved with day to day.
Exactly.
Because enough of us had the information and were...
Right, and usually we were the first to know.
Yeah.
Because we were the comms team, and then we had to develop all the materials for that. So we were on, like, tip of the spear kind of thing.
Right.
And there's some times where people have come to us kind of trying to get information out, just out of their own curiosity, but we were
kind of more to just do their job, though.
A little bit, yeah.
Which was always funny. Like, I can't do my job.
Like, for the poor sales team, I think is a good example of that. They're
yeah.
like, we really need to set up these things with retailers.
They do a lot of leaks, though.
They do a lot of leaks.
There's a reason they don't know.
I mean, but then it's like they can't do their job.
Right.
It's like, we can't set these pre-orders up because we don't know when the next direct is going to be. We
Oh,
don't
gosh.
know. Are we announcing the launch date for something in the next direct? Should we get that ready? And so you're like, well, ask somebody else.
Ask somebody else.
Yeah, that was always the reaction.
Ask Reggie.
Not me.
Ask Doug Bowser. Maybe he can help you
maybe
out.
Someone can get you like on the disclosure list. Maybe someone can approve for you to get this disclosed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to get like really high up approval to get.
Take so and so out for happy hour. Maybe things will go well. One thing will lead to another.
Those lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's sort of how it worked there. We had these crazy disclosure lists for everything.
Yeah. All right. Captain Alex is next. Coming in hot with, no joke, the most morbid question we've ever
had. Oh my gosh.
So get ready. Here's a fun one, ... or not. Kit joked about dying on the podcast one day.
Dying?
And it got me thinking, would you guys ever consider continuing the show with another co-host? If either of you strikes it rich and decides to retire early, does the other continue on with a new co-host, or do you go down with the ship? ABC's Live with Regis / Kathy Lee / Kelly / Michael / Ryan comes to mind, where as long as one host stayed, the show must go on.
Oh.
Wow.
That's a big question.
So, if or when I kick the bucket, what are you going to do?
Or if somebody leaves.
What do you mean leaves? Like quits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone quits. Don't quit.
Well, see, we named it Kit and Krysta, so there's no out. There's no way.
Well, Regis and Kelly.
Yeah.
Kit and Kathy Lee.
I'll get a real Shirley.
I don't get a real Gus. Krista and Gus.
This seems unlikely.
It seems very unlikely. I think we would end it together if we were going to end it. I always share a story about a funny incident where you were on vacation. We were supposed to film a Nintendo Minute episode.
Oh, yeah.
that week. You had gotten very sick on your way back, like
Yes.
really bad food poisoning.
I did, yeah.
Or stomach flu or something like that.
Right.
And I remember you called me in a sick stupor. Like you did not sound well. You sounded like you were
While vomiting.
very like on the toilet. You were in the bathroom. But you called me and you said, we're supposed to film an episode this week. I obviously can't come in to film with you.
I remember it was for the NES Mini.
Yeah.
So it was like a very like this episode is going to be really good and do well.
Yeah. It was like timely too. It was like
Right.
it was like pre-release.
Right. We had this tight window to do this episode.
Yeah. And then you very like in a croaky voice, very sadly was like, well, maybe somebody else in the office can do the show with you.
Right.
that
I
week."
suggested you do it with Chris Slate, who's the who was our neighbor and the host of Nintendo Power Podcast.
Yeah, and a huge NES fan.
Who could have pinch hit just fine, and you said absolutely not.
And I said absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think we just didn't do that episode at all.
I think we just pushed it out a week because that episode is there.
Okay, is it there?
Well, not anymore.
Not
on
there.
your 3DS. But
yeah, I could not imagine like doing it with somebody else.
Right,
I couldn't do
right.
it. I was like, no, this is so weird. No, I'm not doing that.
there was another time, and I think this was maybe like 2014, maybe 2015 actually, where you had one of your close calls of almost leaving Nintendo.
Well, that's a different story.
And this was an extremely close call. Well, let me just, I'm not going to spoil that, but it did make me think of like, well, if this happened, like what are we going to do? And like, it was very clear, like, I couldn't do this with somebody else. There's also nobody capable of doing it either way.
That
too. So it's like, no, this is...
Were you going to host like auditions
and then
for like some other person?
And then that just solidified it like in any scenario. It's like, well, it's a package deal or it's nothing.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So hopefully when we strike it rich, we'll strike it rich together.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have like the technology to make AI models of ourselves.
Oh, no.
And that will be the show that you'll never know the difference, and we'll be like on a yacht somewhere.
Right. Now, I have suggested a few times that we do something alone.
Oh yeah,
because
that's
again,
fine.
we can't always get together every day
Sure.
to do something. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, like, can you just post your reaction to this whatever?
Like the Mario trailer.
Right.
On your personal
on social media.
channel.
Right.
That's fine.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not
Okay.
on the brand channel.
I mean,
on
it
this, our own
gets
channel.
it gets retweeted or
That's
gets
sick.
put
It's
on there.
okay.
Is it?
Like I'm still my own person, people.
Okay.
I can still have a mind of my own. Jeez.
Okay.
That's fine.
I think there could be a place on the Kit and Krysta band for solo Krysta or solo Kit.
Yeah, like what if you just wanted to stream a game by yourself for a while? Like I'd be okay with that.
I'm really intrigued by these people who are on like AM radio and they're just like grinding out hour after hour by themselves. Like that is a real skill.
A skill. I don't have that skill.
I don't have it, but I kind of want to know like how far could I go until I hit a wall and be like, go to commercial. The button.
Play the top 10 now.
Play Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, it's a bad song.
Yeah, I know.
Or like Rush.
So I go like cry in the bathroom. Like, I can't do it. I'm a fraud.
Back to the bathroom?
I'm a failure.
In the bathroom. But yeah, I imagine, like, what if there's a game that you just hated and I wanted to play it?
Well, it's called Sonic Week, and we're doing it next week. So,
Or like a game like Stray, for example. Like,
oh,
what if I
would join. I would absolutely join for that.
Oh, you would.
Yeah, I wouldn't just be like, you do that, loser. I don't care.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
That
what
would
if
be
you,
awful.
Oh.
I'd show up for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a mod?
You'd be like, don't come.
Actually,
actually, don't come.
You're just disparaging to the cat.
You're ruining the vibe. I can read.
It's not cozy or anything.
I can read between the lines. You're not cozy.
Look what you've done, Captain Alex. You have
no.
sown seeds of distrust. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Place
Okay.
Stairway to Heaven. Frulio, do you have any advice for first-time managers?
Oh.
What are some keys to success and things to avoid?
Yeah, it's tough when you suddenly become a manager. And again, we were talking about, in past episodes, how like it's weird that corporate culture does not give you resources on how to be a good manager or training.
Yeah.
Like usually they just kind of like let you, they assume that you could just do it for some reason, which is terrible. When I first became a manager, I think the one thing that I learned was like, it's not my job to try to do things like my way. You know what I mean? Like, it's not your job to like micromanage somebody and make them into like your puppet.
Right.
And like they are just you're supposed to like tell them everything that you want them to do and they're supposed to just do it to a T. Like, that is not your job. Like, your job is to listen to the person that you're managing, like, understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, and then, like, try to help them, like, figure out their way to solve whatever challenge or problem it is. And everyone is going to have a different approach, and maybe it's not the way that you would have done something, but you have to, like, let them do it that way. And whatever way they decide, hopefully they have, you know, you have had some good communication about it. Whatever way they decide, you have to support them, and you have to, like, try your best, do everything in your power to help them, like, be successful in the way that they chose.
Yeah.
And that was really hard, because sometimes you're like, no, just do it this way. Why won't you just do it this way? And then it's like, no, people do things differently, and not everyone's going to want to do it your way. So I had to learn that.
Yeah. So I got promoted. So the dynamic was I was now managing a lot of people who were previously like my coworkers or my friends or you know, just people I was close with.
Yeah.
I think that was just like the first like self-admission I had to do was like my relationship with these people is going to change.
Right.
It's hard to continue to be like, you know, Mr. Buddy with everybody. That doesn't mean you need to be like, you know, Mr.
What about me?
Mr. Hardball on everything. But, you know, there are some times you need to be like, you know, have a serious conversation with somebody or like tell them when, you know, things are not going well. So I think that would have been a mistake if I was just like, oh, it's just going to be the same as it was before. Because obviously it wasn't. Because like you said, you had people going to you saying, what does he think? What does he know? Because I'm just stone-faced with these people.
You never changed it with me, though.
No. Well, I think another thing is like,
different.
You do need to like also like really treat people equally. Like obviously you have people that you like better than others.
Sure.
I was like great friends with you. Much more than I was with a lot of other people on the team. But I couldn't put that out there front and center of like, well, you're my favorite one, so let me tell you all about why you'll never measure up to that. But it's like, no, people want to be, you know, feel like they have a fair shot and be treated equally.
Yeah.
So that's important. I think also just like sitting everybody down and be like, you know, this is kind of like, this is who I am. This is like how I operate. Like, this is what I expect of you. That kind of thing. Like, that's not
Be
good.
very like upfront about it.
Yeah. And just be like, put it all out there, because otherwise people can make assumptions that might be wrong or like never know. Like, just kind of live in this constant state of like second guessing of like,
am I doing it the way they want?
Does this person like this? Does this not? Am I making them mad? I don't know. So it's good to just get out in front of that and, you know, make sure people are very, very clear on it. And then something else that I did, which I thought everybody who was a manager did this, but maybe not, is just like have regular meetings individually with these people.
You're supposed to do like a weekly meeting.
Like there were times where I would in a day do nothing but these one-on-one meetings.
Yeah.
But I always thought those were very productive because
you
would kind of get at the heart of what's going on with these people and what their problems are.
Yeah.
But you would hear these horror stories of like, oh, I haven't spoken to my boss in like a month.
Yeah, like I haven't seen him.
What's the point of having a boss then?
Yeah,
if they're not gonna talk to you.
You are in service to the person you're managing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that was like another realization I had was, you know, I stopped contributing once I got to that point in terms of my output a lot more than it had been. It was like, to use like in a sports analogy, like I'm the coach and they are the player.
Yeah, you're not out there on the field
though.
Doing
so
things.
I am not like scoring the points, but I am helping them to
score the points
in the most like effective, efficient way possible.
And sometimes they're going to score the points differently. You have to like be okay with that and like let them do it.
But I think that's hard for some people who really like their identity was like I score the points.
Yeah, then, you know, sometimes you don't have to be a manager. You know what I mean? Like, some people are really good at being a contributor.
Right.
So you should just work to your strengths.
Yeah. But at Nintendo, like, once you got to a certain point, it's like
you had no choice.
You had to do that.
You had no choice. Honestly, I would prefer to not be.
Oh.
I really liked scoring the points. I'm really good at it, too.
It's about you.
Like, if those campaigns were slam dunks, people. They were.
Wow.
I'm proud of them. I think that, you know, some people were, I was really lucky. Everyone that I managed were like easy peasy. I had no problem children. So I was lucky. And yeah, it is really funny because I'm actually really, really good friends with all the people that I manage. And it's hilarious because it's like, let me just do your review, and then like 20 minutes in, you're like, okay, now I'm your friend again. Let's just like gossip about stuff for the next 10 minutes. Yeah, it's like that line is so, it's so thin. Like it's just, you're on either side of it.
Good luck, Frulio.
Yes.
Jordan Collett is next. Why do you think Advance Wars decided to delay their game, yet Call of Duty does not?
Oh, gosh. They made a huge mistake with Advance Wars, I think. Like, they really got freaked out.
Well, it was definitely... I mean, hopefully they realize that this is a long-term thing that they're getting into, which obviously it has been.
Yeah.
Will continue to be.
I don't think they realized that when they did it.
I don't know, but I also don't think they really care. Like, if they released this game on, like, the last day of the Switch's life cycle, I think they'd be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a big game to begin with. And,
that's true. The size of the game is important in this situation.
And kind of for them, like, where you're trying to schedule this, like, portfolio of games for the year, it's always nice to have something in your pocket to be like, oh, we're going to put this out now and fill this hole that opened up. Like, we were talking about how Nintendo has gotten a lot better at scheduling out their releases throughout the year, where it's like
be terrible at that.
In the first quarter, which we're in now, they used to only have something at the end of March, which meant you had 3 long months of nothing.
Yeah, after the holidays.
And now,
sometimes in the holidays, they would have like 2 games launched on the same day.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And now it's really smart to have Fire Emblem now, because it's like the holidays pass, most people finish those games.
And then we're bored.
And they're hungry for something new. So I do think that I don't think they're hurting, from this decision at all.
I don't think that they thought it was going to be a long-term thing, though. I really feel like they thought that the conversation or like whatever the conflict would somehow resolve, which is silly when you think about what they were basing that decision on.
Right.
War.
Yeah.
So that part of it feels like kind of they may have learned something from that,
Right. That would have been like the point that I would have made if I was in that conversation of like, let's all just be aware and comfortable with the fact that this could mean like a years and years delay. And we would talk about that too when we would, stop posting on social because something terrible happened.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, sometimes the mindset was like, oh, we'll stop for 24 hours and we'll come back.
Yeah,
and
but like what's going to trigger you to come back?
Depending on what happens, you might not be able to do that.
Right.
How this news cycle plays out, or if there's like some follow-up thing that happens, or some new piece of news.
You can perpetually be in this like dark period.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was always like, let's be comfortable with this lasting a long time.
Right.
If it does. I do think it speaks to just kind of, I struggle to find the right phrasing, but it's like, Nintendo does have like the moral high ground of like, yes, we are, an all we're serving everybody. We never want to offend anybody. We want to kind of, have this squeaky clean image. Whereas with Call of Duty, it's like year after year, it's like, yeah, we're shooting people. Yeah, we're shooting people from countries that we're naming. We're shooting people from countries that are in this conflict. There's kind of like a who cares kind of element to it.
It is what it is mentality.
Yeah.
But it's because it's been such a long-running franchise and people expect it.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't even think for a second about this being in poor taste.
Right.
But if anything Nintendo has done, or if Nintendo does anything, they're judged on a different scale. Mm-hmm. And I think they know that.
Right.
Like if you want to put out that you have a squeaky clean image, you are going to be judged on a different scale than someone that has never cared about that image.
Yeah.
And so it's the prison that you build for yourself, basically.
On to the earlier point though, like Activision has a financial need to put Call of Duty out and not delay it for 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, which is kind of the ultimate reason of it.
Yeah, business is a business.
I did have the same thought as Jordan Collett. I was like, this is the only game to do it, and there's all these other like actual like realistic war games that are just going to continue on. Yeah, like who cares? Right. So it is a strange double standard that not a lot of people seem to be talking about or even seem to care about. Cardinal, hopefully I'm pronouncing the name right here. This is a question for you on behalf of me not caring. Thanks for the podcast and the years of Nintendo Minute. I hope Kit's cold is finally getting better. Oh, it is getting better. Thank you, Cardinal. Nice. And the scary weather in Northern California stops soon. Well, that's still going.
That's also better. Sunny today.
I was wondering if you guys like Harry Potter. Now you see. And if not, even if not, have you checked out Hogwarts Legacy? It's one of the huge releases for 2023 Q1, and the showcases so far show a massive open world with numerous mechanics, locations, and characters. As people who understood games before they released, do you think this huge undertaking by the developer is a good idea for reimagining the world of Harry Potter? Can anyone pull a Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, I think this is the first time that they have done something with the world of Hogwarts where it's this big open world experience. I have been following this because I'm very interested in this game and wanting to see what it's like. I am a Harry Potter fan.
Big time.
Big time, yeah. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, and I love, the books and the movies. I love that world. I'm kind of surprised, honestly, that there's not that many video games around this world. It's kind of like, how come there's a lot of video games around like Star Wars, but not Harry Potter? It's like
one's good and
one's better.
Well, just not gonna say it.
It's like the same thing. It's like a very well built out, like foundation for you to build these cool video game experiences onto. Yeah, we'll see. This is one of those things where like you could really mess it up royally as well, because people have high expectations and they have in their brains like what a Harry Potter world should be and should feel like, and what you as the player should be doing. Like that is something that people have expectations around. So I wonder if they're going to pay that off. Like, hopefully yes. But it's a huge undertaking. I think so far it looks really cool. I mean, they are promising like a lot of really cool things that you definitely have imagined yourself doing if you've been a fan of Harry Potter. So yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on this, and I think I'm gonna check it out when it comes out.
As a non-fan, it feels to me like the Harry Potter franchise just kind of stopped after the last book and the last movie came out. And I know they've still been putting out new material, but it doesn't feel
really
very impactful.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting franchise where it's like, is there just not going to be any more of this? The creator seems to have moved on to just saying crazy things.
Yeah, the creator has moved on to being really crazy.
Nutty.
I think the people that have taken over like the franchise want to distance themselves from J.K. Rowling's as well. And it just kind of feels like, it does kind of
is there a team in place who is creating something new? Or?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like this needs like a reboot almost kind of thing. Like it's time for a reboot or some sort of
because there was to your Star Wars point, like there was a time after the first trilogy and before the prequels where there was nothing.
Right.
And nobody cared.
Yeah.
And it's like, is Harry Potter going to be one of these things where I was like, oh, well, that was cool 15 years ago, but now there's nothing.
Right.
Like, I really wonder.
I think a prequel would be awesome.
Yeah.
They should totally do that.
I mean, this
with
seems
Harry Potter's
like
parents.
This seems like somebody
ripe for that.
Like, is like, is Disney going to acquire Harry Potter and then they'll just keep making it? Like, that would make a lot of sense.
I think that's exactly what this franchise needs. It's like it needs like someone to take it over and like reboot it some way.
Because when we went to Universal to go to the Nintendo store, we went in that because you wanted to go to the Harry Potter store.
It's so cool.
And it was like the biggest store there. They obviously have that crazy Harry Potter section.
Yeah, it is so awesome.
But that was my takeaway of like, what's going on with this franchise?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, Link is next. Do you think there will ever be a Zelda game with completely original characters? No Link in Zelda. Is that something you would want to see?
So what would it be the legend of?
I could see the Legend of Zelda just being in a Hyrule world.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a lot of other stories that you could tell.
There's like Cadence of Hyrule, which is a Hyrule world-ish thing without a Link or a Zelda. Is there a Link or a Zelda in there?
Yeah, there absolutely is.
Oh, okay.
What are you talking about? I think you're talking about something else.
Play as?
Link.
No, you play as.
Well, there's a lot of characters you can get in that.
But one of them is not Link.
Well, that's not from the Zelda series.
Okay, fine.
Let's get off of that. I think again these are big worlds that have cities and other things happening, and there's a kingdom. I think you could tell sort of a side story, or create some other sort of heroes.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all these other. You've got people, in the forest, in the water, all these other sorts of civilizations that could be really fun to build a game around.
It'd be cool to have like a game just on like one region? Like,
Yeah.
what if we just did a full like Legend of Zelda game on like the Gerudo?
That would be a really interesting one.
And then you can see like maybe like it's like a Ganon story.
Right.
Because that's where
I
he's
mean, they've even set up with the 4 champions, like, hey, you could do a game on any of those about like their adventures, like through the history.
Yeah, or their surroundings or whatever.
Right. I think the issue is like the process of making Zelda games is as inefficient as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because we've waited 6 years for this new game. And there was a time where they were doing good with spin-offs, but those were really smaller games. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if that team is really equipped to do something like that.
Right.
And I don't think they're comfortable saying our next big Zelda game is this thing.
Spin-off.
I mean, they won't even do a game where you play as Zelda.
I know.
Which a lot of people have been wanting.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like, it would be cool if they like gave that IP to somebody else to do, like another studio.
Yeah.
If they're not able to, but I don't think they.
Yeah, if they're going to do a spin-off and they want it to be a little bit different intentionally.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful for this, and I think it could be really cool.
I think as they continue to build out this version of Hyrule that we're seeing from Breath of the Wild and hopefully for Tears of the Kingdom, maybe that lends, and then we did get those DLC things with the champions or whatever. Maybe that does lend itself to us like learning more about Hyrule beyond the stories of Link and Zelda. So maybe that's like the setup for the future of the franchise. But yeah, we will see. I'd be interested.
Yeah. Our last question is from The Natrix. Hey, Kit and Krysta, I've been reading Reggie's book, which I got for Christmas, and there's a section where he talks about pitching the idea of Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt demo to compensate for the delays in development, and as a bit of a marketing tactic to tease and promote the functionality of the DS. Now that digital distribution is ubiquitous, there are tons of demos available for download, and I'm sure that developing and releasing a demo is a bit easier, but that got me wondering, how much involvement does NOA's marketing team have with initiating demo releases? Was there ever another time, like Reggie's example, where a game was delayed or perhaps not selling well, so a demo was released to promote more sales?
Yes.
And?
That happens a lot.
And the example was?
What? I can't remember.
You don't know at all.
It was, but we definitely have done that as a marketing tactic.
Do
you remember a game?
The thing about demos is like, it's kind of like making a smaller second game. And so that was always like the calculus that these developers had to do of like, maybe we're struggling to finish this game and now you want me to make this other thing that needs to get tested, lot checked, like needs to be like picture perfect to release as well. That was a struggle or something that we would hear a lot from developers of like, yeah, it'd be great to have a demo, but we actually have to make the thing. And that's not easy.
But I totally remember that there's been instances where a game is struggling, or they're like, no, we definitely think this game needs a demo because no one's going to get what this game is without it. So we have to release a demo.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we definitely did that. I remember even like around an E3 demo, which seems like if you have a game that's going to be at E3, seems like such a like logical thing. But there were developers like, you need me to make a demo for E3? Of
like a playable
what?
demo,
right? Like you need something to play at E3.
That did happen.
Like I'm just illustrating how laser focused they are. Like we are making this game, and I'm really not thinking about anything else. That was something that our Treehouse team would spend a lot of time for when they would go over there. Like they would negotiate of like, hey,
can you do a demo?
We think this game would benefit from a demo. Would you consider that? So they would really take the lead on a lot of those conversations.
I think a lot of times what worked really well is like the demos that they would do for RPGs, where it's just like the first chapter of the game, and then you can just carry the stuff over.
Yes, the Bravely Default games.
Yeah, that set a precedent.
That was like
an aha moment.
Pivotal moment for demos, because there were a lot of times where it's like, I kind of don't want to play this chunk of the game twice.
Right, that sucks. Yeah, you don't want to waste your time twice.
Yes, that is a great innovation in demos.
Yeah, and that sells it into the developers even more, because they're like, oh, we're just playing a part of the full game. Yeah. And, then it's not as like of a heavy lift, so.
Nintendo had kind of a weird history with demos where for a while they were resistant to doing them. This was like early 3DS because it was like, oh, well, nobody's going to buy the game because they're just going to play the demo. And remember, you could play a demo like 10 times or 30 times and then it would like self-destruct.
It would self-destruct, yeah.
Whereas I feel like on, maybe it was Xbox 360, like there was a big push. It was like every game needs to have, if you're going to release a game on this platform, you have to have a demo.
Oh, wow.
I feel like they were, it may not have been like a hard and firm rule, but they were really pushing everybody, like, you should have a demo.
Oh.
So it was just such a different
like mindset
mentality
where
Nintendo just felt so like old fashioned of like, we don't do those, we don't have these.
Yeah. Like, buy this RPG game that's going to be like, 170 hours without ever learning about what
we would show like, hey, people like these, people play these, people still buy these games. I was like, I don't know about that.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
All right, that was the end of the questions.
Yeah.
Thank you to our wonderful Patreon family for submitting those questions. Shall we move on to shouting out our great superstars?
We shall.
Okay, you start.
Aaron Hash.
Ben Eichhorn.
MaruMayhem.
Eigenverse.
Jordan Collett.
KissMyFlapjack.
Mike Chin.
Mr. Rogers.
RainTech.
Roy Eschke.
Switching it up _.
Stop it. Sephazon.
TheSharkAmongMen.
vgmlife.
Link, the hero of wins.
Angela Bycroft and her pig Molly.
TurboChargeNerd.
Thomas O'Rourke.
And Simon Barrera.
Woohoo!
All right.
Thank you, superstars. And here we go with our One Up Club graduation ceremony. Aaron Burgundy.
Adam and Ainsley.
Ajan Malari.
Ale Alejandra.
Alexandra Pratt.
Astrodev.
Blazed and Confused.
Bookem Dano.
Brad SF56.
Brookie Kazooie.
Bruce Dash.
Chancellor Fairley.
Christopher Lay.
Cozy Tar.
Captain Cinnamon Buns.
Captain Alex.
C. Roper 17.
Daniel Cold.
Daniel Valencia.
Dachshund.
Doodoo Face.
Douglas Chonix.
Dino Punch.
Elite Peach.
Esparts 50.
Ezrato.
Farpre 69.
Fairbound.
Fernie and Jess Forever.
Fox Deploy and his dog Bernard.
Fred Rossi.
Full Combro.
Game Hunt 64.
Gar.
Garrett Holfish.
Gordon's Son.
Ian Shea.
Israel Izzy.
Jay Rando.
Jabroni Jones.
JK99.
JBJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Jerry 92602.
Jesse Hernandez.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Hemmerly.
Joseph DeHaze.
Joshua Clements.
Juji Fruit.
Julius Westernberg.
Just Camtro.
Kai Commercio.
Kawa 2796.
Kelpshake.
Kevin Delane.
Krisu.
Christopia Party with me.
Kyle Gamer Berry Rookie.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyle LaBeouf.
Kyler Nelson.
Linnell Stickman.
Lego My Frogo.
Lemma.
Levi Yahoo.
Lil Sebastian.
Lit.
Mad Dog 5981.
Marky Man 64.
Matthew Rewald.
Mecha Dragon 101.
Megan.
Michael Cravens.
Michael White.
Mikey.
Monster Jordy.
Motamania.
Mr. Andy Pong.
Murph.
My Tran.
Nasir.
Nathan Burkhart.
Panda Buns.
Paul Gale Network.
Piano Psychopath.
Prime Factor.
Prince Charmless.
Quinn Hardigan.
Reaver.
Ray Chiron.
Ryuji Utsuho Okuu.
Renee Rivers.
Reese Williams.
Ryth 1.
RJ Kern.
Rob Osborne.
Renana Rex.
Rox.
Rianetta.
Sam Newland.
Sharif Jackson.
Shinbrew.
Slowbro.
Schmiggles.
Shrews.
Silly Ferret.
Sparkling Salt.
Spicy Munchkin.
Starholt Productions.
Steels Trone.
Tefew.
Thomas Alvarez.
Travis Torline.
Troopage.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tusk Oob.
Tyler Geis.
Video Game Stupid.
Virtual Bot.
Wicked Davy.
Will Ernst.
Will Johnson.
Zudiver.
Zelgaroth.
And Zroid.
Yay! Yay! We did it. We didn't leak Smash Ultimate. Thank goodness. Woo! All right. Well, that is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Don't forget to join us on Patreon. We are patreon.com/Kit and Krysta. Help us get to Japan this summer. We'd love to go and make some really cool content for you guys. So join us today.
If you're watching this on video, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel you're watching now. If you are listening on audio, you can give us a thumbs up and leave a review for us as well.
Yeah, and follow us on our other social media channels. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, YouTube. All right. We'll see you guys later.
For Sonic Week.
Yes,
Wow.
Sonic Week is coming. Okay, bye.
Bye.